Imagine a room where the lights never go out, the food never runs dry, and there is absolutely no threat to your survival. In 1968, a scientist named John Calhoun created this exact paradise for mice, and within 5 years, every single one of them was dead. They didn't die from disease or predators. They died because they ran out of things to do, becoming a generation Calhoun called the beautiful ones, individuals who did nothing but eat, sleep, and groom themselves until their society collapsed into total apathy. Most people today are living in a digital version of Universe 25, trapped in a cycle of comfort that is slowly erasing their spirit before their body even follows. But there is a small group, the 1%, who have mastered what I call the ghost discipline. This isn't the discipline you see on a LinkedIn post. It's the invisible work done in the conceptual space that our ancestors carved out of the darkness. For 99.9% of human history, when the sun went down, the world became a place of absolute lethality. To move at night was to become food for predators that could see in the dark while we could not. But everything changed roughly 1 million years ago with the mastery of fire. Fire didn't just provide warmth, it gifted humanity something we were never supposed to have: extra hours. Anthropologists have found that while daytime talk among hunter-gatherers was 80% practical, work, food, and logistics, the night was different. Around the fire, 81% of the conversation turned into stories, myths, and jokes. This was the birth of human culture, a ghost discipline where we learned to imagine things that didn't exist yet. Today, we have traded that sacred circle of fire for a light switch, and in doing so, we've eliminated an entire phase of human consciousness. Before the industrial age, humans didn't sleep in one 8-hour block. They had a first sleep, followed by a 1 to 2 hour window of quiet wakefulness called the watch, and then a second sleep. During this midnight watch, the brain produces elevated levels of prolactin, creating a state of peaceful, meditative reflection that most modern humans will never experience. The ghost discipline is the act of reclaiming those extra hours. While the rest of the world suppresses their melatonin with blue light, tricking their brains into thinking it's forever daytime, the 1% utilize the restlessness that is baked into our DNA. We are a species of evolutionary mismatches. We burn in the sun, our spines break under gravity, and we are the only creatures on Earth plagued by existential dread. Biologically, we are invasive species on our own planet, appearing so fast in geological time that it's as if we were seeded here. We went from sharpened rocks to landing robots on Mars in a geological blink, and yet we still haven't found a way to feel at home. The 1% understand that this restlessness isn't a bug, it's a feature. It is the drive for ideational generativity, the constant creation of new roles and new reasons to be here. But why is it so hard to start? Why does building an identity after work feel like a physical battle? The answer lies in how we are wired. When you were a baby, your brain was growing so fast that it was literally destroying your memories as it went. This process, called neurogenesis, meant that to build the new you, your brain had to tear down the old walls. Mastering the ghost discipline requires a similar destruction of the self. You cannot become the person you want to be without dismantling the person who is currently satisfied with the behavioral sink of modern comfort. You need a narrator in your head to package your experiences into a story, and for most people, that narrator goes on strike the moment they clock out of their 9 to 5. The 1% use the ghost discipline to build a conceptual space when physical space is crowded. They realize that if the number of people exceeds the number of meaningful roles available, society collapses into violence and apathy, just like Calhoun's mice. To avoid becoming a beautiful one, you must invent a role for yourself that didn't exist before. If you think you have time to wait, you are ignoring the data. Science shows that the moment your heart stops, your brain doesn't just fade to black, it surges. In those final moments, gamma waves, the same ones associated with memory retrieval and dreaming, spike to crazy high levels. This is the life review. And here is the terrifying part. It's not the milestones that flash before your eyes. It's not the promotion or the bank balance. It's the ordinary Tuesdays. It's the small, quiet moments you didn't think anyone was recording. If your ghost discipline was spent scrolling through a digital feeder, your final movie will be a void of empty pixels. But if you used those hours, the watch between the first and second sleep of your life, to create, to reflect, and to build a meaningful role, your brain will have an archive worth unlocking. The ghost discipline is the scariest level of discipline because no one is there to clap for you. There is no supervisor, no crowd, and no immediate reward. It is just you, the darkness, and the fire you choose to keep alive. Calhoun's mice died because they lost the friction that made being alive feel like something. They had a paradise of comfort, and it killed them. We have the same choice. We can remain beautiful ones, grooming ourselves in our digital apartments until our spirits die years before our bodies do. Or we can embrace the mismatch. We can acknowledge that we are a restless, alien species that was never meant to just exist. We were meant to tell stories, to build roles, and to extend ourselves into the conceptual space of the unknown. Tonight, when you reach for that light switch, remember that for 300,000 years, your ancestors used the darkness to become human. Don't just flip the switch and let the light flood in. Sit in the watch for a moment. Find your friction. Because in the end, your brain is recording everything, and the ghost discipline is the only thing that ensures the ordinary Tuesdays were actually worth the time you were given.